and a warm welcome to Poll Wall 2006, where we get you the latest news from the 5 states going to polls this summer. And as always, we'll start off this edition of Poll Wall 2006 with another story from Tamil Nadu. Generally, the elections in Tamil Nadu see the debut of one film actor or another in the political arena. But this time, it'll be a party floated by ex-IITians. Lok Paritran. That's the party that they've decided to float, and they've decided that they will put up candidates in 8 constituencies for the forthcoming assembly polls. But in a polity that's firmly entrenched between the Dravidian parties on the one hand and its offshoots on the other, it's going to be a Herculean task for this party to make their presence felt.
For aerospace engineer Tanmay Rajpurohit, this is perhaps the toughest test he's taken in his life. Even getting into IIT was not as tough. Tanmay, an alumnus of IIT Bombay and Georgia Tech Atlanta, gave up a high-profile career in the Big Apple to come back and serve his motherland. The means, politics. Tanmay and a bunch of his enterprising friends from IIT have started Lok Paritran. Top of their agenda is weeding out corruption.
Basically, from the political system, it seeps into the bureaucracy, then it enters into the public psyche. And then, because of that, public start thinking that, okay, corruption is a process which cannot be eliminated or something like that. If you figure out the root, and the root lies in the political system.
Tanmay's first big challenge is the Tamil Nadu Assembly election. Lok Paritran is contesting 8 seats, 2 of which are heavyweight constituencies. Chepauk and Thousand Lights, which are currently represented by DMK Supremo M. Karunanidhi and his son M.K. Stalin. But the daunting task does not intimidate them.
Because most of the places we went for campaigning, they said they don't want to vote because they lost confidence in the democracy of the existing political parties. So we tell them that we are an alternative for them.
This fledgling party did not even have an office 3 weeks ago. Today they have officially set up shop and received a steady stream of interested participants. From this, they've narrowed down on 8 suitable contestants for the assembly elections. But getting inspired by films like Rang De Basanti is one thing, making a difference on the ground quite another. We can only wish Lok Paritran the very best of luck. With Saptarshi Bhattacharya in Chennai, Zaka Jacob, Headlines Today.
Alright, let's go back to our top story. Lok Paritran, that's the new party floated by some ex-IITians who are trying to make an impression in the electorate of Tamil Nadu. Let's try and find out just how much they can from Santanagopalan Vasudevan. He's one of the founder members of Lok Paritran. He's also contesting this particular round of elections in Tamil Nadu from the Mylapore constituency in Chennai. He now joins us from our Chennai studios. Mr. Vasudev, thanks very much for speaking with us here on Headlines Today. First things first, what was the idea behind floating a party like Lok Paritran? I mean, all of you guys, ex-IITians, and all of you who are part of this organization could have had the easy life, the cozy life. You could have been probably in Silicon Valley or with some merchant bankers in New York or anywhere else in the United States. Why take the rough and tumble of politics?
Well, I mean, what can I say? The thing is that when you look at India, firstly, all of us, even though some of us were outside of India, we always had the plan to come back to India and live here. And when you decide to do that, and you look at the country and you see the problems there, and you think you want to do something. So we've been, kind of doing something about this idea for quite a while now. Like we've been involved in some kinds of social work in villages, let's say in Rajasthan and UP and things like that. And every time we found that we came up against the political system whenever we wanted to expand beyond a certain level. So finally we decided that the only way to really, bring about significant and lasting change was to get into politics and kind of, attack from that level.
But Mr. Vasudev, you understand that social work is one thing and contesting elections is a completely different thing, and that too in a state like Tamil Nadu, which is so firmly entrenched with the main Dravidian parties, the DMK and the AIDMK, or it's their offshoots, the MDMK, PMK and so on. What sort of an impression can you make on the electorate? I mean, what difference can you really make on the ground?
I mean, actually, to be honest with you, so far, even from whatever I can see, we have made quite an impression on the electorate. And basically, it is that, we come with a fresh perspective on things. The fact is, okay, so we are different from the other parties in the sense we do not have any political backing, nor do we have financial backing. We're not from the film industry, nor are we, from any other industry where we have a lot of money with us already.
Which is exactly my point. You already are at such a huge disadvantage. I'm taking your case, for example. You're contesting from Mylapore. You're up against 2 heavyweights, Napoleon from the DMK and SP Shekhar from the AIDMK. They both have huge party organizations backing them. They also have their cinematic appeal. You have none of this. Why should the electorate in Mylapore vote for Santanagopalan Vasudev?
I mean, one thing is it's very clear that the electorate in general is disillusioned with the existing parties. In fact, a very clear indication of that is the dramatic swings in results in elections in Tamil Nadu in particular. So I mean, this basically, they're looking for an alternative, and the fact is that people in general have become inactive because of hopelessness, basically, and they don't have an alternative. And we're here to provide an alternative, to provide a platform where people can express themselves, where people feel like they participate in government. Which is what
I'm assuming,
should.
Mr. Vasudev, that a bulk of your empathizers, people who can relate to your cause, people who actually feel that, yes, something needs to be done about the system, are the so-called educated middle classes, upper middle classes. But the point is, we all know that the middle classes don't actually come out on voting day to cast the ballot.
Yes, I want to say two things about that. One is that, yes, I understand a lot of times, in fact, well, in most cases, the educated people are the less the voting population. First thing is we would like to change that. What we want to say is that your vote is actually a very valuable thing. People should really come out and vote. And we conjecture that, in the face of a good alternative, they will. And the other thing is, I don't think we lack appeal towards the people who actually vote, because I think they understand to a large extent that, things are not happening the way they would like it to. So I think they are looking for an alternative.
We'll have to leave it at that because we're running short of time. Thanks very much, Mr. Vasudev, and all the very best for this daunting task up ahead of you. We salute your spirit and your intentions. We hope you can convert that into effort as well. Thanks very much for joining us from Chennai. That, I'm afraid, wraps up our special segment Poll Wall 2006 for tonight, with all the latest election-related news from the 5 poll-bound states. We'll be back again tomorrow night, same time, for another dose of election news. For the moment, it's a break, and news and updates continue on the other side.